Then
We're going live now. And we live. Okay, okay. 3, 2, 1, going live. Going live, guys. Hello. We have my brother today. He's a little bit from different mother, but we definitely, Andrew is yeah, we are. And so, Andrew, very welcome today. How are you? You ready for the church? I definitely am.
I've been to church today, this morning. It's already 20 to 8 p.m. over here. I'll be going to bed after we wrap this extraordinary interview up.
Yeah. So, how are you, Andrew?
I'm really good. It's been a lovely day actually today. Got a lot done, met a lot of different people and
Yeah.
covered a lot of different topics. And
Yeah.
yeah, feels really good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah. And Andrew, could you tell where you are calling from and what do you do, your life? Everything is so interesting.
Okay, we'll see. I am calling from Seoul, South Korea. The good one, the bottom one, the high technology Samsung one.
Yeah.
And I've been here over 20 years.
Wow.
I'm from the UK, Liverpool. Actually, technically, the Wirral, which is across the Mersey, for anyone who is watching that knows that geography. But I usually just say Liverpool because no one's ever heard of Mells or the Wirral. But yeah, I've been over here almost as long as I lived back home. So it gets
Wow.
confusing when I say home now. It's like, oh, wait a minute, where is home? But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a professor of English, business English communication, and I am that's number one. Number
Yeah.
two is a dual elite neuroencoding specialist, which is a form of life coaching, neuroscience based life coaching.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Do you want to touch a little bit more about? Oh,
A little bit more. Well, my focus is on me because a physician heal thyself, as our mentor Joseph McLennan III says. So that's why I got into it, because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of, not feeling, let's just say not feeling good. Maybe
mm,
get into more detail later, but I was just not in a very good place a couple of years, well, let's say 4 years ago. Um, and I wanted to look at why that was. Basically, I tried counseling, and
mm,
therapy, and that's all about looking deep into the
mm,
past, which seemed logical to me. Like, let's look at the
yeah.
past, let's see traumas and stuff like that. Great, but I don't have very clear memories of the past, and I don't. Some people would say, well, that's the trauma blocking the memory. It was so horrific. Um, Other people have said it was to do with the fact that I had hearing problems when I was very young. So the recordings were not quite stored properly in the brain, and that I don't have clear memories. That's why, you need sound and sight and all those things together to
Mm,
have the memory, I guess, the memory recalled correctly.
mhm,
Either way, it was proposed to me that really what you want to do is have techniques to have a better future, because as Joseph would say, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. So when I heard that, it intrigued me because it's really no good fixing the past if my present still sucks in a way, right? Like, oh, boohoo, so this happened when I was 12, like I I, I totally respect what it's worth. Well, what I really, really wanted was to be happy now. And what I really, really wanted was to achieve great things in the now and in the tomorrow and in the coming years. So that's why it intrigued me, the coaching. So I met so many amazing peers and mentors, and I was able to work on myself and then help other people too. So it's been a life changer. It really, really, really has. Really
mm.
has.
Yeah. How long did it take for you to change your life?
Oh, overnight.
Wow.
I'm joking. Of course not. It's one of those things. I think it's a bit like losing weight. You don't really notice it
Hmm.
for a long time, but other people do, right? Like, I think if you ask my wife that question or you ask my closest friends that question, they would have a very different answer.
Yeah.
Like they could notice, like if we didn't hang out for a week, they would notice something. Like
Yeah.
I was less on edge, or I was more talkative, I was more thoughtful about things, or less anxious about things. I was making decisions rather than being meek in the corner and letting other people decide. I was being proactive, I was being optimistic, things like all that great stuff that in the past I wasn't being or doing. Sorry, I've got a bit of a runny nose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's so
I wear
interesting.
red jackets now. That's
Yeah.
another difference. Yeah.
What's the red jacket represents?
It represents the fact that I have a red jacket. I won't lie to you. It's not a symbol of anything. It's not a club. It's not a league of anything. It's just
Your
I've always liked standing out, but until I did the work that I needed to do, I was too scared to stand out. I've always been tall, like not overly tall, let's say for Europe, 6'2", 6'3". That's not crazy tall by any means for Europe. Living in Korea, everyone looks at me. It's like I'm a giant over here.
Yeah, I think so.
But I never wanted to stand out. It's like I secretly did.
Yeah.
But whenever I was in the spotlight, I hated it. It's like, oh, don't look at me, but look at me, but don't look at me. So once I was able to work on that and be like, I do want to be noticed and I have something of value and I want to share it with more and more people, then I was finally able to be congruent with myself and use the skills that I have and share them with a loud voice. And my whole life just felt better.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And can I ask you just behind you extra?
Can you see my underwear? I'm sorry. Oh no, there's a green screen. Luckily, there's a green screen there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. What do you want to ask me?
I'm just trying to read your underwear. Extraordinary Men's Network. What is it? Yeah, what is it?
So this is the name of the Facebook community that I created last year.
Yeah.
It's called Extraordinary Men's Network.
Yeah.
Originally, it was just going to be like Extraordinary Guys Club or something like that. But then it's like we use the word guy a lot, but it's not. How can we say? Hey guy, hey guys. It's very casual and comfortable, but it's not at the end of the day distinguished. Like we are guys, but we're also men. And men has a meaning in terms of masculinity. So I went with men. And extraordinary is just a word that really has resonated with me in the last couple of years in terms of extraordinary life. Not to say that ordinary by any means is the opposite of extraordinary for me. Dictionary might argue that, but it's on a on a scale. Ordinary being kind of in the middle, and then extraordinary being on extreme, amazing, fantastic, mind-blowingly wonderful. And people said, you are extraordinary. Like you left your home country and you got a job teaching English. Like you were a terrible student. And who would have thought you'd be a professor in a university? I'm like, oh, thank you very much, I guess. It's a very British kind of backhanded compliment, right? And then you became a life coach and you gave up drinking. Like we all thought you'd be, I don't think anyone thought I'd necessarily be dead from alcohol, but my life would not be moving as well as it is at 45. I've been sober for 4 years now. Ooh, me, yeah, good job. Wow, you're amazing. It is for me because it was nonstop for a long time. What was he talking about? We're talking about me, right?
Yeah.
Extraordinary Men's Network.
You are extraordinary man, yeah.
So I allowed myself to step into that. I call myself the ordinary guy coach because in a sense, we're all human. We're all in some sense ordinary, but we can all step into being extraordinary. We can be, we are extraordinary for our kids. We are extraordinary for our family. The extraordinary police officers and firefighters and extraordinary doctors and nurses and, the extraordinary Ingrida, who created her community, who's interviewing me now, the extraordinary Amos Bracewell for creating Bump Global and ENTV Today. We all have the potential to be amazing, like extraordinary. So I wanted to make a community that was just for men, not in the sense that women can't be extraordinary, because I've also made this year a new community called Extraordinary Life Network, where we could celebrate all people. But I wanted at first to create a safe space. I don't like that term because it kind of got skewed a bit was it last year or 2 years? I don't know, whatever it was, but and especially I think more in North America than Europe. But safe space. It's okay to cry because somebody talked about your hair color. Okay. Anyway, it just means that there are some things that men want to talk about, but we've been a little bit pigeonholed into like what it means to be a masculine man, and a lot of guys stopped, or in some cases were forced not to talk about them. Hold it inside, swallow it, don't cry, big boys don't cry, or whatever it is. And I wanted to create a space where guys could let it out if they wanted to. A space where those who had been through stuff, whatever that could be, could openly share it, without others hearing the story, right? It's not to say that we're like, black Visa, black card, or platinum, Amex or whatever. It just means that there's a bit of a vetting process, and it's for genuine guys, men who want to heal and help others heal too. So there's some people in there who want to be helped, and there are people in there who also want to help. So it's both, and it's really, really great to, especially when you interview people from all parts of the world. Like, I had no idea at first how it was going to work or how many people would join, but interviewing people from every continent, it's just been kind of mind-blowing. And the stories you hear and the messages I've received, like, no one's ever listened to me before, and I never thought I'd share that part of my life with somebody or somebodies, because it's hundreds of people maybe listening potentially. So it's been a big honor, and again another life-changing experience to be able to be part of such a thing, such a, dare I say, movement even.
And it's universal, Andrew, isn't it? This masculinity, like if you a man, you just have to kind of, there's no soft things, no crying, nothing, you just have to be that. Do you see the change happening, or maybe in where you are right now in Korea is different? Because I just had a conversation with few men, like they all saying the same, like, you just have to be this father, husband, tough figure, and it's just for females to cry and to express their emotions, things like that. But like, we all are humans. I'm just trying to understand, man, and to see from your perspective, what do you see the change?
I still think there's a long way to go, but the fact that even you and I are having this conversation, and just a few minutes ago you were having the similar conversation, that proves the fact that things have changed. Whether you were talking about it and they were saying, it still exists, but regardless, we're having the conversation. So it's out in the open, and people are thinking about it. And I just think, I think about my brother-in-law, and I think about my stepbrother, and I think about some of the friends I have in Korea. It's definitely changed a lot. It's definitely changed a lot from the words I used to hear from my uncles when I was a child or teenager. I think men are changing, and not necessarily always in a good way either. Like there's men who are, it's almost like the pendulum, the way it swings, right? It's like too masculine, too, I don't want to say feminine because it's not the opposite of masculine. People say is feminine. It's not about that. It's like you're being too angry and now you're being, it's more like closed off, right? It's more like, you know, it's the
Yeah.
issue of young men taking their lives, like the numbers have skyrocketed, right? Like it's the non-communication. Like at least before they were letting their anger out, and that wasn't good because, you know, they were beating each other up or beating women up or whatever. Now they're just taking their own lives, which that doesn't help things either. So
Yeah.
at least people are talking about it. And I do think a lot of men are, you know, they're working on themselves. They're reached out to coaches, counselors. They're talking to their friends more about their emotions, about issues with their marriages and things like that. There's a lot more people on social media, you know, just offering advice and things about it. So, yeah, we're definitely moving in a good direction.
Yeah, yeah. So how females, how us can support men in like, is there any kind of what is missing maybe still? Maybe there's certain expectations that you guys think, oh, I have to be this because of whatever females think that we have that you have to be certain way. I don't know, is this changing? Or is there a way of actually for us to support you so you can be you and it like vulnerable and things like that?
Well, that's a tough one. I don't know that I'm really qualified to answer that because whatever I say is not going to fit all sizes and
Maybe from
shapes,
your
right?
perspective, like for you.
Well, something that just really resonated with me was like the difference it makes when a man hears from his woman, like I thank you and I respect the work you do. Like instead of like the I love you and you're beautiful, like if you think about how a man might talk to his partner, oh baby, you're so beautiful and I love you, you're so, you know, whatever. Like a
Mm,
guy would rather hear, you're my freaking warrior and go and kick some butt today and I'll see you tonight. Like something like that, right? Like
yeah,
that makes them feel like a really valuable and honored person, right? That really resonated with me when I heard that. I was like, wow, I I don't feel like I'm missing that from my life, but I did think like interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
that's it's in like it sounds really primal maybe, but
yeah,
you know, there's parts of our brains and things that are still rooted in that kind of primal
yeah,
thing. So
yeah. I like that
definitely
a
the
lot.
way we are wired is different. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that a lot. Like if someone would say to me, "Hey," a little bit like a man, maybe.
Yeah.
I like that what you said. And Andrew, would you like to speak a little bit to talk about how your what you do, your program, how like how you help men, like it, you know, how you work, the type of
Yeah,
things
sure.
that you do.
So my how can I say my training, my certification and skills were through the Neuroencoding Institute,
Mm.
which was founded by Joseph McClendon III. He's a partner with Tony Robbins, so I don't know who knows which name more. There's definitely, I
Yeah.
think before I came to Korea and I saw so much more like global
Yeah.
media, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't really know who either of them were, but anyhow,
Mm.
he's amazing. He is magnetic, charismatic,
I-
just so good with
yeah.
words and interactions. Anyway, um, and it just comes down to, I guess it's the way I do it too now, but you you really make the other person, your client or friend, the person you're talking to, feel heard and
Mm.
valued, and they have the answers inside of them kind of 99% of the time. And it's just giving them the opportunity and space and time to find it, right? It's the skill of asking the right questions. It's the
Mm.
skill of allowing time for them to think about their answers. It's knowing how to rephrase what they've said in the way that they will notice what they've said. Like many times we say stuff and we
Yeah.
don't even listen to our own words, right? Like, do you realize what you just said? And they're like, oh, sugar. Wow, really? Did I say that? It's like, yeah. Like, oh, wow, like what a contradiction or something. Um, and really, the focus of my work these days has been on men's. Actually, you know, it's a bit of a secret, but I've been working with some women too. Don't tell the men. No, it's okay. I focused on men because I'm a man, and my
Yeah.
experiences of working with myself and stuff is
Yeah.
easier to
Yeah.
resonate with, I suppose. But it's self-confidence and self-esteem.
Mm.
So it's helping those people that notice or have noticed that they're not living their life to the fullest, or they're not taking the opportunities that they know deep down that they would take if they believed in themselves as much as other people say they do, right? Often we have a friend or a spouse or even a parent, depending on your age, who's like, oh, you should totally do that. Wow, you'd be so good for that. And you're like, oh yeah. And then when you're on your own, you're like, you loser. You would never do that. You're not gonna do that. Well, why even bother? You're not even gonna get in the door. And all that self-talk and self-beating and stuff
Mm.
very often wins for a lot of people, unfortunately. So what I do is help them develop better strategies. It's not They are strategies, but at the end of the day, these are default behaviors, right? These are default when you get asked or offered an opportunity to do something, you have seconds to decide, right? You don't have time to be like, hold on a minute, let me confer with ChatGPT and decide, blah, blah, blah. You have to decide. You'd be like, oh, yeah, or no. And if you have any, like, if you have issues with self-doubt, low self-esteem,
Yeah.
then you're going to say no 9 times out of 10 because you're uncomfortable, you're unsure, and no feels safer. So that's your default reaction. So by working with me, and what I help people do is build up a default action of saying yes and, right, yes and, instead of no, but maybe call me tomorrow or something. Like, no, forget that
And
nonsense. Yes, and let's have an interview. Let's talk tomorrow. And yes, and I'll start on Monday for $500 an hour or whatever.
I
Yeah.
love you replacing such a simple thing, but because I still using but, kicking the butt, but replacing with and, it's totally shifts something in you, no?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it causes some problems with my other profession, teaching, my professorship of English communication, because grammatically, there's times you have to use but. And at the same time, I'm like, get your butt out of here. I can hear Joseph's head in my, voice in my head, get that
Yeah,
butt out of here.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
it's true though. There's, we negate so much of what we say with the next sentence because we put those buts in there.
Yeah.
I would be really good at that job, but I didn't get the last job. The interview didn't work last time,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I'm overweight. But I would go I could totally join this gym, but I need to lose weight. No. And you will lose weight while you go to the gym. And you will learn the skills while you're in the job. And you'll save money while you're working. And yeah, absolutely.
But
Get your
um,
butt out of here.
yeah, would you still have your butt going on?
I have a very nice butt, thank you. Yes.
Oh, there's no doubt, absolutely. You my brother, so of course you have. Um, yeah, but and
And
yeah. But does it happen when you say but still but in your life? It or you already
rarely, to be honest. Like
yeah,
we've done so much work with our
yeah,
peers. Like we've had so many calls where people just call you out. Oh, you said butt. You said butt. It's almost it's so and it's like literally it's a metaphor or a direct a representation of that default programming, right?
Yeah.
We have created that default where as soon as we're about to say, and and the smile comes, right? Because you
Yeah.
know you've counteracted that, but you were going to
Yeah.
go down a negative route and you didn't.
Yeah, I love it. And just one more thing before we're gonna go. Is there anything like a simple things for men and maybe females as well, like to practice first thing in the morning or whatever, to actually reprogram that mind that, you know, that is so many things in that nervous system trapped to feel a little bit better about ourselves. Maybe you do something that you open to share in this group.
Yeah, I mean, these days I'm like a, black belt jujitsu ninja master, so I do a lot of things. But in the and
Ah.
in the early days, though, in the early days, it started with very, very simple actions of whether I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, or speaking normally, looking in the mirror, eye to eye, I love you, you got this,
Love you.
and
You got
smile.
this.
Pat
And
myself on the
celebrate.
back. And something I picked up actually recently, because we're always learning, is to high five yourself in the mirror.
Oh, I
And
don't
the
do that.
neuroscience behind it is, for me, 45 years. I don't know when I gave my first high five, to be honest. It might be about 43 years or whenever I gave my first high five. And for me, I have decades of experience of high fiving and feeling good, right? We don't normally give high fives when we feel bad.
No.
High fives feel good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you bring your hand up to the mirror, forget about the fact that you look like a weirdo high fiving yourself.
Yeah.
You get that release of those feel good, the feel good source, the magical juice, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and it locks in that good feeling of I love myself, I've got this, today's going to be awesome, and it sets you up for the day of just feeling like you're going to crush it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not BS affirmation. You're a tiger. Come on, you're gonna crush this. It's it's literally neuroscience, and I'm trying not to use the jargon. It's
Mm.
creating synapses in the brains that are connected to performing better.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Just breaking that, whatever I try to explain to my family, you know, just breaking that old, whatever nervous system, that pattern that doesn't serve you, creating the space and putting
Yeah, yeah,
good things and then
yeah.
lock it. And that's
I,
it.
I like to use the analogy of I mean, I think it was Dean Graziosi or something I heard it from, but it's like
Mhm.
you talk about the tractor going down the field
Mm.
and creating those deep ridges, where the
Yeah.
tractor goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how hard is it for the farmer to, instead of going over there, to go over there, right?
Yeah.
He's like, it's really hard. You can't just,
Yeah.
if he tries to just yank the wheel,
Yeah.
the tractor's going to tip over.
Yeah.
However, if he just turns it a couple of millimeters, like 2 millimeters to the right, after 100 meters, he's going to be over there, right? That small shift. Or the other analogy that I like to use is golf. Anyone who plays golf knows if you adjust the angle of the golf head by 2 millimeters, the ball's not going to go there, it's going to go there,
Mm.
right? It has such like a compounding effect. So you start your day off by feeling freaking awesome and,
Mhm. Yeah.
anticipating something fantastic happening.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, it just might happen.
Yeah, and it always does. It's just how you program yourself in the morning, and yeah, and then it just uplift. Even if you get a lot of shit to deal with during the day, but it just you able to actually handle that way better. Well, at least that's from my side, you know, just sharing. But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's not a panacea by any means. It's
Yeah,
just way better than what your other tools that you were using, right?
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it a lot. And Andrew, just one more question before we're gonna go, because the time is nearly up. When you hear words next level or next level transformation, what are the first thoughts that come into your mind?
hard work.
Is it hard work? It is a little bit of hard work.
Consistency, really. It's consistency. It's not hard work. It's maybe challenging,
Yeah.
and yet it's consistency.
Yeah.
When I work with clients, I tell them to figure out, like, put hard work into finding out the smallest thing you can do every day and consistently do it. And you'll see the gains in days, if not, in weeks, if not days.
Yeah.
So consistency will take you to the next level. Yeah.
I love it, Andrew. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, brother.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for watching this. Till the next time, right?
Till the next time. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Ingrida.
Thank you.